In this video, we are going to be solving two-step equations. We will be covering equations with fractions, parentheses, and even variables on both sides. Let's start with our most basic example. So, 3x plus 5 equals to 23. So the first step that we're supposed to do is try to keep x onto one side. And we can only do that by eliminating all the others. So let's keep x on the left side. So what we would have to do that is minus 5 here. But if we minus 5 here, we have to do it on the other side as well. So minus 5 here. And then we would get, this would cancel out, and the 5 would cancel out. So here, this would cancel out, and then over here, we would get 18. And that would equal to 3x. So once we get this, we're going to be doing always the opposite, right? So in the first one, it was plus sign, and the opposite of that is minusing it. For here, to get rid of only keeping x, and get rid of everything else, we have to divide, because this is multiplication. So to do that, then we would have to divide. So we would divide 3, and we would divide 3 on the other side, because we have to do the same thing to the other side. And we would get x here, and 3 divided by 18 and 3 divided would be 6. So the answer would be 6. Because 3 here would cancel out, so we only have x. And if you want to check it, what you can do is you can fit in x here. So it would be 3 times, it would be x, right? And then you fill in x, and that would be 6. So 6 plus 5 equals to 23. And 3 times 6 is 18. And then plus 5 equals to 23. So we distribute it, right? And then 18 plus 5 would equal to 23. And both sides equal to 23, which means this is right. Now let's do an example. So this example would be something that you can work on by yourself. It's 8x plus 2 equals to 18. Feel free to pause the video and figure out the question. Once you're done, you can unpause the video. Okay, let's do this together. So the first step we're going to do is try to keep x onto one side, and let's try to keep it on the left side. So to do that, we have to eliminate everything else. And let's start with the 2. And what's the opposite of plusing? That is minusing. So minus 2 here. So minus 2. And we have to do the exact same thing to the other side. Minus 2. And we would be able to cancel out the 2. And here it would be 16. And we just put down the x, so it would be 8x, because we haven't changed anything. And then from here, we would need to divide, because the opposite of multiplying is division. And we would only do the 8, because we want to keep the x there. And we have to do the exact same thing to the other side. So we would be left with x equaling to 2. So the answer would be 2. You can check it by doing the exact same way as we did before, by filling in x here with 2. And plusing timesing this would be 16 plus 2 equals to 18. And 16 plus 2 is 18. So that would equal to 18. So it means we have done this correct. Now let's solve a question with a fraction in it. As long as we do all the steps, we will be able to do this question as well. So this question is 9 equals to 3 plus x over 4. So as the same thing as other, we try to keep x on one side and everything else on the other. And what we do is we always do the opposite to the sign. So over here it would be plus sign, right? So the opposite of that, opposite of positive 3 is negative 3. And to do that, you have to do everything on the other side. And we just keep x over 4 as it is because we haven't changed anything. So we would be getting x over 4, right? Because we haven't changed anything, so we get to put that down. And then the positive 3 and negative 3 would cancel out. And 9 minus 3 is 6. So it'll be 6 equals to x over 4. And now we only have a fraction with x on one side, but we still have the number. So what we have to do is we have to do the opposite of division. And what is the opposite of division? It is multiplying. So let's multiply 4 with 4, because we try to keep x on one side, because we have to do the opposite, right? It's plus timesing it. So with 4 here as well. And now it would be 24. 6 times 4 would be 24, and then this would cross out the 4's, so we would be left with x. So the answer would be 24. To check if we're right, we can add 24 into x like we did before, and 24 over 4 would be there, and that would be 6, and then 6 plus 3 would equal to 9. Let's move on to the next. This question is going to have variables on both sides. As you can see, it says 7x here and 2x here, and there's also x on here. So the variable x is on both sides. Feel free to pause the video and try to answer this question. 7x, 2x, and x are all like terms. If you don't know what like terms are, or if you forgot, you can watch the video, my latest video on like terms. Okay, so let's add 7x and 2x together. So the like terms on the left hand side. And that would be 9x. 7 plus 2 is 9. And then you just add the x on. Minus 5, because we haven't done anything with the 5. Equals to x plus 11. Because we haven't done anything on the right hand side. So let's put x onto one side. We're putting x onto the left side. So what we have to do is cross out the x on this side. So we would minus x here. And then you would minus x on the other side too. And then you can do 2 steps at a time for this, and then we can plus 5 on here to go to the other side, and plus 5 on here. So when we solve the equation, it should be 8x equals to 16. And the reason is x here crosses out, 5 here also crosses out. So what we have left is only this and this. And that should go to this, and that should go to this. Now we've figured out up to here. What we have to do now is divide, since the opposite of multiplication is division. So we have to keep x on one side, so we'd have to divide by 8. We have to do the exact same thing onto the other side, and if we do that, then we would be getting x equals to 2. So the answer would be 2. You can try to check it and put it onto here, and you would get the same answer. I have checked it myself, and you can take a look at that. You can pause the video and take a look at that. But all I'm going to say is that we have done it correct. The next question I'm going to be doing is going to be involving parentheses. So if we're going to be doing parentheses, what we have to do is use the distributing property. And what that is you put what's outside the bracket or parentheses, and you solve it into what is into the parentheses. So in this question, it would be 3 times 2x and that would be 6x, and then it'll also be 3 times negative 4. Make sure you never forget the negative sign. So that would be negative 12 plus 1, because we're putting everything down that we haven't used, equals to 7. So we have done the first step. Next, it's technically everything that we've done in the video before. You can try to solve it now. You can pause the video. Okay, so once you're done, negative 12 plus 1 equals to negative 11. And then you put 6x down, and then you would put equals to 7. Now we would try to keep x on one side since we solved all the like terms, right? So what we'd do is put it on the other side. So it would be 6x equals to 7 plus 11. And the reason for that is that we would cross it out by using the positive, right? Plus is equals to 11. And here we would do plus 11. So we would just change it and put it down. So that's exactly what we just did. I just kind of simplified and didn't show you all the steps. So once we get that, we would be figuring out 6x equals to 18, because 7 plus 11 is 18. And now we would divide. And because the opposite of multiplication is division. So 6 over here and 6 over here. And we would get x equals to 3, because 6 times 3 is 18. And you can try to figure out if you got that correct or not. So I have already figured it out, and you can pause the video if you like, and see if you did all the steps correctly. Thank you for watching. Today I'm going to be ending this video with a question that you may be able to solve. It's about everything that we have learned in this video. You can put your answer in the comments below, and I'll check it, and I will respond to your comment telling you if you got it correct or not. Please subscribe and like the video. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments below.